guys, just having a little think. I've been considering what may or may not be usable now in this new generation of gaming, the 8th generation. And what I've been thinking is on two particular genres, and admittedly one genre I've never really been into, and the other genre I used to love dearly, and over the years I've just lost interest in. And those two genres are football games, or for American viewers, soccer, and fighting games, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, that kind of jazz. Let me outline my cases. For football games, every year we get a new FIFA and we get a new Pro Evo. And for a few years, that was great. It's like there was another one, more graphical improvements, better AI, the grass looked more realistic, the stadiums were the proper stadiums, the crowd became denser and more like an actual crowd, and so on and so on and so on. Very much the pattern of improvement we expect in games. And that's lovely jubbly. But the thing is, how much better can you really make a football game now? Yeah, you could make the characters super realistic looking, but even with a really big telly, they're only going to be about this big. Maybe this big, if you're lucky. And it's like, why are you gonna bother with having all that detail on something that's maybe a couple of centimetres tall on your telly? And then it's going that fast, you don't really have time to go, oh, look, such and such player looks just like he really does in real life. I'm almost like watching this for real life on telly, except I'm in control. And I understand that vibe, yes. But, it's almost redundant, I mean, yeah, the realism and it all moves right now, but then at a certain point, you're not going to really get it that much better, You really just not. I mean, it could look as pretty as you want, the physics can be beautiful, the weather can be beautiful, everything can be absolutely, but nah, it's just, at some point, football games, possibly even now, yearly installments of them are irrelevant. All it really is now, for football games as far as yours truly can tell, is a way for the games company to go, well, it's another year, we need to get some money for the licenses, keep churning them out, lads. Well, tell them we've put this in the game and it's another advancement. Here's my idea for football games, okay? Well, ideas. 1. Do something to the control system of a football game. Make it, more interesting. Make the player feel more like they're actually part of it. I don't know how football games control, but I got a feeling it's probably not very complex or very interactive. It's probably just like keep punting the ball, pass the ball, keep punting the ball, keep punting the ball. 2. I think it's high time that we stop doing them every single year. Perhaps maybe be like the World Cup, every 4 years. And then every 4 years come along with a game that's been worked on for 3 years. A team has sweated over it and they've made it just incredible, Make it an event, like the World Cup, event gaming. We see very little of that in the sports gaming market. I mean, the last time I can think of a game that was an event for players to go get, it was this big game, SSX, and before that, you see my point. I can't think of it, and I'm not exactly short on gaming knowledge. Anybody who knows me in real life kens this. So I think football games need to change, not go away. Admittedly, I wouldn't be saddened by their loss, but then again, there's another loss to gaming, there's another loss of creativity and the advance of code and so on and so forth. But I think it's time that football games took a step back, come out every 4 years, be really innovative and really pretty, and be worth 60 quid, you know? Because as it stands at the moment, all you're really doing is just printing the same game twice. Maybe a couple of little tweaks here and there, but, you know, and you've changed the uniforms, whoop-de-doo. Change the uniforms of DLC, you know? In fact, you probably do that already, so, you know, it's like, why are you going to the expense of buying another game, and why you go with guys who make the game, go into the expense of making the game? Make the game Uber, and do it every 4 years, like the World Cup. Now, fighting games. That's a bit more tricky, because I have played most of the Tekkens, and I have had a lot of fun with them. But I have found that over the years, I have found fighting games to be less fun. And that saddens me, because it was great. Especially Tekken. I know I'm going on about Tekken, but I really just identify them. Maybe it's because I'm a martial artist, I don't know. But I love the idea that every button is a limb, you know, triangle, square, circle, X, you know. Each limb is linked to a part of the player's body. That's brilliant, you know. I mean, hard punch, medium punch, soft punch. Trust me, martial arts, there's no such idea as a soft punch. It's ridiculous, you know. And it just seemed to have the perfect mix. And I mean, the last few Mortal Kombats have been, well, drab. You know, the Mortal Kombat back in the day. Oh my god! If you were, you know, if you were a gamer in the 90s, and you saw that original Mortal Kombat, oh my god, the original advert got your heart pumping, and the game, oh, Jesus, it was, I mean, you look at it now, it looks like crap, but back then, oh my god, those are like real people in the game, but they're in a game, it was earth-shattering, it really was. And it just moved so nicely, and it was an event. But now fighting games just seem to be like, here's some more pretty textures, here's some striking lines, here's some lens flare, here's 16 variations of the same costume, here's costume bits for you to buy online, here's hairstyles and shoes and fighting gloves and skin colours and tattoos. And it's like, I don't know, it's just lost something. I mean, I just can't get excited by a fighting game anymore. When I play one, I'll probably still do alright, you know? I mean, I was playing that recent Tekken one, that was the free-to-play one, and yeah, I had fun with that, and some of it in my trophies, and yeah, it was a decent little game. I think I actually got all the trophies, I might be wrong. But, you know, it was decent, but I wasn't excited by it, you know? Just wasn't. Just not excited by fighting games anymore, and I want to be excited by fighting games. I think fighting games is another thing where it just needs to be taken back a couple of steps, you know? Stop releasing Street Fighters for starters, because Street Fighter is so tired. Seriously. It's like, you know, there's tired. There's nothing left in the franchise. You know, when you're taking Street Fighter 4 and you're on your, fourth iteration of Street Fighter 4? When we saw this with Street Fighter 2, the amount of versions of Street Fighter 2 there were. You know, there was Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Arcade, blah, 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 blah. You know, then they did the EX and the EX version, blah, blah, blah. It's just stop with the iterations. You make one really solid fighting game. Whoever you are, you know, you could be Konami, you could be Namco, you could be Sony, don't care. You make one really strong, good looking, well working, excellently thought out, creative roster, interesting fighting styles filled with Fight Fest, where everything works well, including, and especially these days, which is important, the online versus mode. You make sure everything is so crisp. you could use it to cut a loaf of bread. Okay? That's what you want. Do them less often. Do like the fighting games, but maybe slightly more. Maybe every 2 years, And make it so that each one, whatever you do, whether it be a 2D fighter, a cartoony fighter, or full in 3D, or even something uber realistic like the UFC games, make them so that when they're happening, you have that adrenaline joy again. Your heart's pumping in your chest, your fingers and your thumbs are moving at lightning speed, and bring back, but you don't have to really do it so much with fighting games, but make sure you don't ever lose track of the idea of two gamers on the couch, pad in each hand, giving each other laldy. Never ever lose that fighting games. Online's brilliant. Story modes, I think, could maybe need a bit of a shift. I'm not sure how. I mean, I'm no industry expert. I don't know how you'd move the idea of the story mode on. But I do think that the traditional story mode, maybe in fighting games, could have possibly had its day. You fight this guy, here's an FMV. You fight these next two guys, here's another FMV. And half the time, you find yourself going, do I really give a shit what goes on with these people? When they're not fighting. You could do, if they had great writing. And I'm not saying great writing is a must for fighting games, but it'd be nice. So, there's my 2 cents. I'm firmly of the opinion that fighting games and football games really, really, really need to be overhauled. Not go away, just overhauled. And there are probably other genres that could also do with an overhauling. Certain genres that I might have gotten tired. Like, I don't know. Oh, well, I tell you what, you tell me. There's that comment section down there that you never use. Well, some people have used it. Like, I think about 5 of yous. There's 29 of you out there who are subscribing, and I'm sure there are other people that stumble across this video. And most of you never use that comment section, or contact me on Twitter, or contact me through the PSN. I mean, the PSN and YouTube here, that's all the same. That's DWTKSW. And the Twitter Zenbloke, I'm waiting to read your comments, guys. This channel's for you. I mean, I do it for fun, and I really like doing this channel. I've come to quite like doing this whole YouTube malarkey. But, get stuck in. Let me know what you think. And maybe then we could set up a bit of a 2-way dialogue, and I can bounce back on what you said, and this could get quite interesting. Anyway, that aside, use the comments box, rate, share, favourite, comment, and subscribe. And, as always, aye! No bother.